National Hurricane Center at 11 p.m. Very little change in the forecast. Irma, a very powerful storm. Hurricane hunters were out inspecting it earlier this evening, and what they found was very consistent conditions to what were estimated by satellite. Maximum winds close to 115 miles per hour, minimum surface pressure around 959 millibars. The storm is moving to the west-southwest now at about 14 miles per hour, and its forecast track by late Tuesday takes it uncomfortably close to the Leeward Islands, eventually just to the north of Puerto Rico, north of Hispaniola, and into the southeastern portions of the Bahamas.
Back now with the Fox News alert, Hurricane Irma intensifying to a Category 5 now. The powerful, life-threatening monster storm packed with 175 mile-per-hour winds. It only is getting stronger, believe it or not.
You got Florida and Puerto Rico under states of emergency. They're bracing for the worst, and they should. This after witnessing the destruction in Texas.
Janice Dean joins us right now. Janice, at 175 miles per hour, which is what Hurricane Irma is right now, that's the strongest storm in how long?
10 years, and Katrina at its peak was 175 miles per hour. The last time we saw a hurricane this strength was Felix back in 2007. That is a perfect textbook hurricane.
The new 5 a.m. advisory on Hurricane Irma is just in from the National Hurricane Center. The powerful storm is battering the southeastern Bahamas and has its sights set on South Florida.
It sure does, and we have weather team coverage for you this morning. Meteorologist Dave Warren standing by with details on the impact here locally. First, though, let's get the latest on Irma with meteorologist Asuka Gonzalez.
Hey, Gene and Lauren, and good morning to all of you at home. Unfortunately, we're not having any good news this morning with the latest 5 a.m. advisory. Really, not much has changed. Irma is still a Category 4 hurricane. Now, the winds have decreased, but only slightly. 155 mile per hour sustained winds right now, and moving west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. It is located 55 miles northwest of Great Inagua Island, and it is forecast to move west-northwest and maybe a little bit more on a westerly track here as we look ahead throughout the night tonight into tomorrow. Could be moving across the northern coast of Cuba or just north of this island, and then of course taking that turn to the north. When that turn happens will determine whether we see that eye stay offshore or directly make landfall across South Florida, but it is looking more and more likely that we will see a direct impact here, as right now the National Hurricane Center is forecasting that the center of Irma
highways are
could be right
jam-packed
over
this
the
morning
Upper
across the
Keys
state of Florida.
as
At
we
least
head
9 counties
into
are
Sunday
issuing
morning
full or partial
Sunday.
mandatory evacuations.
We are evacuating live here on GMA because we are joining more than tens of thousands of people who are evacuating right now or have evacuated already. About 40% of gas stations are already out of gas in South Florida.
All Floridians, keep a close eye on this incredibly dangerous storm. Do not sit and wait to prepare. Get prepared now. This is a life-threatening situation. You need to leave now. Do not wait. Evacuate. Not tonight, not in an hour. You need to go right now.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Everett Lee Show, a shot of entertainment to the head. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to ELS, the Everett Lee Show. Let's cut the damn music. All right. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think about that right there? Hurricane Irma has come and gone and has ripped through the west coast of Florida couple weeks ago. Actually, it's been about a week now. But right there, that was a taste of everything that was going on here in Florida. This podcast didn't happen last week because of Irma. I'll get to that here in a minute. But I want to mention you can follow ELS on the screen right there. Those of you in this live stream, or not live stream, this recorded podcast. What am I thinking? I'm still trying to recover from Irma. It screwed up everything. You can follow me on Twitter at the Everett Lord Score Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee, and the official website of the EverettLeeShow.weebly.com. Joining me on this podcast is none other than gracing me with his presence, the almighty McShaft. What's up, McShaft?
Well, I survived Irma.
I think we all did, man.
As a native Floridian, I have survived several hurricanes in my lifespan. And, you know, now that I kind of sit back and look upon it, as a Floridian, a native Floridian, as someone's been here for a long time, we really don't get that ruffled up about hurricanes much anymore. Like the true Floridians, we literally either board up your windows and say, all right, here we go, grab a case of beer, or, you know, you're just like, okay, I can't wait to run outside in the rain and do something. I mean, I didn't board up. You know, I bought some canned goods, some like raviolis and stuff and everything. And I mean, I didn't board up my windows or anything. I took all the trees out around my house, so I had no trees to worry about. And I mean, you know, I wasn't worried. I mean, I was just like, you know. And then, like, you know, I didn't have power for about 3 days. But, you know, even though it was slightly uncomfortable, I mean, you know, it was nothing compared to what people, you know, down in the Keys and stuff are going through. So, I mean, I really can't complain at all. You know, a few days, maybe a week without power versus having everything destroyed. I mean, come on now, you can't complain about that. But, yeah, I noticed that, like, you could always tell, like, who the real Floridians were in the time of the hurricanes because they were out buying the beer and they were not really, like, worried much at all. You know, I mean, honestly, I mean, I've been through so many of them. It's just, you know, whatever. Now, you know, the best part about those that, you know, everyone's, you know, out, you know, trying to get gas. Everyone's freaking out about getting gas in their cars. And, oh, my God, I got to get gas. I got to get all this gas. I know. And then it's like, I run premium in my car. So I literally just roll up to the gas station and I just like, oh, I see they're all out of gas. Oh, nope, they still got plenty of premium. Whoop, right in. Didn't even have a generator. I didn't even buy a generator. I'm just like, you know. Right. Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Not worried about it.
With me, I had to evacuate. I had to get out of Florida. I had to get out of Daytona. It came down to basically with the last few minutes, or actually, we were tracking the storm. We were tracking it. Me and my wife were tracking it. And we were watching Weather Channel. We had the Weather Channel on for like 3 days straight. And Governor Rick Scott of Florida would come on there and give updates and stuff. And then when he was getting down to the wire of you must evacuate. You have to evacuate, you know. I ended up looking at my wife. She was nervous. I was nervous. Because I've never experienced anything like you before. We grew up here in Florida.
You were gone for a while. I mean, you weren't here back in 2004 when we had like 5 in a row, like every other week.
No,
I mean,
I grew up, you know, born in '78. From '78 to 1995, I lived in Florida. I think I was. You were little. Because there's a age gap with us.
9 years.
92. I remember when Andrew ripped through Miami. That was a big deal. We did get some up here in northern, you know, of the state. We did get a little bit rain and wind off of Andrew. Not much. Nothing compared to what Irma was. And they showed the comparison of what Andrew was in 92 and in Irma, the Category 5 and stuff. What really freaked out people was when they announced before it got to Florida, they said it was a Category 5. Man, you go into Walmart, you go to Publix, you go into supermarkets down here, people are buying up everything they can.
Well, everything except for clam chowder. Nobody wanted the clam chowder.
I know. They bought everything up, man.
Well,
you know.
Well, here's my thing: is that let's just say you're not from here and you're a relatively new resident in the state or whatever. You know that Florida has hurricanes.
Yes.
You know, it's like you should throughout the year be prepared. You know, for hurricane season, you should have a well stocked up pantry of like canned goods, non-perishables.
Right.
You should always have some extra gas laying around.
Yeah,
I mean, you should always keep your trees trimmed up and maintained. And so when it comes time for this, you know, like hurricanes and stuff to come, you're not running out to Walmart trying to scavenge for stuff and everything. You know, you're prepared already.
Yeah, like the beginning of hurricane season. It's like when hurricane season is about to start, there's times where you just got to, you know, stock up and get everything get it ready for hurricane season.
It's like people that live up where like snows real bad and blizzards. It's like you don't wait till the day before to start chopping firewood for you know all of winter. You do it throughout the year and you have it ready. You know?
Yeah, you definitely do. You definitely do. But watching
dude,
everything that was going on,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's like Sam's Club and Walmart here in Daytona. Sam's Club was out of water. That night, they got in probably about 12, 15, maybe 20 or 50 pallets of water. They opened up early at 7 o'clock for business people. 7 o'clock, they were lined up. Within 30 minutes, at 7:30, they were sold out of water. That's how bad it got. I ended up getting in there and getting a couple cases of water. It wasn't the water I wanted. I still have it, and I still drink it. I love it, man. But, like, you know, today I'm drinking my coffee, trying to wake my ass up. But besides that, unlike you rode out the storm. Me and my family, I decided it was like on Thursday, decided, well, you know what? The hell with this, man. I'm like, I'm getting my family. I'm evacuated. Told my job. I said, I'm leaving. I'm evacuating. So boarded up the windows of the house here that night, packed up the family, packed up the baby, took the dog. I wasn't going to leave the dog, you know that. And so ended up hauling ass. I think we left late that evening because of getting everything ready and stuff. What eventually happened was we, instead of hitting 95 north because traffic, I took the alternate route that led to the 95 bypass, and then I hit 10 west over, which wasn't too bad. I'm like, you know what? This ain't bad like they were talking about in the news. I'm sitting there cruising along and everything. You know, I was going to hit 75 north and head up to Tennessee where I lived. As soon as I was about pulled off the off-ramp of I-10 and was going to get on freaking 75
there
north.
Was. Yep.
Traffic was bumper to bumper.
Yep.
I'm like, damn. So I'm scooting along. We're sitting there scooting along. Had the wife in the back with the baby. Baby was slept, which was good because driving at night, she slept. So that was good. She slept the whole way going up to Tennessee. Had the dog in this kennel up front. He was just sitting there just chilling. So, I mean, we had the car packed down, man. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. I could feel it when we took off. I was like, man, this thing's packed. So we may burn a little bit more gas.
Yeah, the eco mode on, right?
Yeah, I had the eco.
Okay,
Yeah, with the eco boat because I drive a Chevy Equinox.
Yeah,
drive a 2017 Chevy Equinox.
Yeah,
but we're sitting there bumper to bumper with traffic, and we're scooting along, and then all of a sudden traffic broke up. We're like, cool. Come to find out, the reason why traffic in certain sections of I-75 northbound would get congested and bumper to bumper was everyone's pulling off the interstate off a bypass to get gas. Everyone's waiting in line. So eventually, right before I got out of the state, the Georgia-Florida line, I did have to stop and get gas. I had to go to a Pilot gas station. Had to circle around. Wife got out, ran inside to get some stuff. I filled up, and I got done, and I looked. She wasn't, back. I was like, shit. I got all these people behind me wanting gas. I was like, come on. So I got in the car. I pull up and I pull around, and I had to park over on the side. I was blocking some traffic. While I was sitting there blocking some traffic, I'm sitting there waiting. People sitting there, like looking at me, like, wanting to run me over. It's like, I didn't move out of the way a little bit to get people pulling in and out of parking spots I was blocking. All of a sudden, I saw my wife coming out of the store. I rolled down the window, and I was like, hey, over here, come on, let's go. I was like, I'm pissing off some people. So we jumped back in, and we ended up getting, I think it was about 8 o'clock Friday morning. We made it to Atlanta, Georgia. Now, my uncle lives within Atlanta, right there, right on the outskirts of Atlanta. So instead of before Atlanta and waiting after Atlanta, right in the neighborhood where he lives, I pulled in there and went off, and I got gas. Filled up with gas, went next door, ate breakfast at McDonald's. We hit the highway, man. It got so bad on 75 after we got outside Atlanta. Going through Atlanta, it was like bumper to bumper. Good time to go through Atlanta during morning rush hour. You ever went through Atlanta during morning rush hour? Have you ever?
No, especially not during a hurricane.
No, you don't want to. You do not want to experience that, man. I'm serious.
No,
it is a pain in the ass. I've drove through Atlanta plenty of times. You know, you got all this traffic, take the bypass. It's like, yeah, go ahead, take the bypass. It's like my dad. I grew up going back and forth from Florida to Tennessee, Tennessee to Florida. He would go straight through Atlanta. And I asked my dad, I remember, God rest his soul, I said, how do you drive through Atlanta? This is after I started driving when I was about 17, 18. I said, how the hell do you drive through Atlanta? My dad says, I drive like Dale Earnhardt. You got to rub little door handles, keep up with the traffic. That's how I do it. Sometimes it scares the wife because I'm sitting there hauling ass along, you know, with the traffic in Atlanta. Okay, it may say 65 or 60. No, people going through Atlanta, they're getting from point A to point B, no matter what. So I ended up, getting through all that traffic and stuff and everything, and I had to get off the interstate. I got off the interstate, and I took a road that my dad used to travel years and stuff, going back and forth from Tennessee. So I took that. It was an old country road, went through some towns, and it was a straight shot into where I need to go. So it took about 15 hours to get up to Tennessee. We spent about almost a week up there, and we kept a close eye on the storm and everything. I know you kept updating me about power and everything and stuff. You came by the house, checked on it a few times.
You know, the one thing I always started noticing here about when hurricanes come is people turn into two things, okay?
Uh-huh.
First, they turn into amateur meteorologists, okay? So now it's like, here comes the hurricane. Everyone's now a meteorologist.
Right.
Well, you know, the hurricane, you know, it's taking this track at this speed. Oh, no, it's not. By this cold front coming down, it's going to go this way and do that. Everyone's an amateur meteorologist, okay? Especially now in social media. Like, everyone thinks they know everything about the weather. Uh-huh. Then after the storm, people turn into insurance adjusters, okay? So, like you'll be at the store or whatever, you know, and, hey, you know, how'd you fare out for the storm? Well, I got about $3,000 worth of damage here, you know, in my back. It's like, really?
Show me the money!
It's like, you just know that, you know? Like today, we were at breakfast, and I hear this guy talking about, he goes, yeah, I got about, $10,000 worth of damage here between my roof and my fence and this and that. I mean, really? I'm like, you just know that. Like, you know, so now everyone's an insurance adjuster. They know how much, you know, and it's always a, right. like an even number. It's never like, oh, I got, $2,423.12 of damage. So it's always like, I got 5,000 or I got 10,000 or it's about 1,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I know. It's just crazy. It's like the damage I had with the branches. Yeah, I probably got about $100,000 worth of damage, with the trees on my fence and everything.
I had a tree come down on my fence. I got about $1,000 worth of damage. It's like,
yeah,
really? It's like, who quoted you that?
I know.
So
it's crazy.
Everyone goes from amateur meteorologist to, insurance adjuster. I mean, during a hurricane, it's amazing.
It is.
It's amazing. It's like during a normal day, it's like no one knows what the temperature is. No one knows what the weather is, if it's going to rain or not, And then it's all of a sudden, here comes a hurricane, and they know about cold fronts, hot fronts. They know about like Earth's rotation and how it affects the hurricane and everything. But it's like you ask them, hey, what's the weather like today? I don't know. Yeah.
I know. On this podcast, we're going to talk more about Hurricane Irma. Also, we're going to talk about some music news with Megadeth's Dave Mustaine. Sammy Hagar. Are we going to see a Van Halen reunion with Van Hagar in the future? Also, some wrestling news. Talk about Asuka, the No Mercy card coming up this weekend, and SmackDown. Talk about the Vince and Owens storyline, being elite, and some news on WWE 2K18 video game. My career, my career, my crappy career path revealed. My career path.
You haven't played it yet.
But first, before
I got Destiny too, so I can talk a little about that too as well.
Yes. Before we get to all that, I want to mention that you can visit Amazon.com on EverettLeeShow.weebly.com, the official website of the Everett Lee Show ELS. Click on the links, buy something from Amazon.com through the website. It helps the podcast, and it also helps the website as well. City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida, the official host of Draft Tuesday of ELS. Stop by there. They got plenty of TVs. They got plenty of activities to do. They got pool tables. They got dart boards. They got indoor and outdoor seating. Have some drinks with your friends. Have a good time. Tuesday nights at 9 is guys' night. And also, if you come in there, you may see a live recording of Draft Tuesday of ELS. So, man.
Well, I like to do something here.
What's that?
I want to do a
Eye of the Storm.
I want to do a new little short segment here. I'm going to call it the random Reddit thread.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a random just Reddit thread, just read it to you here, and in response you can post up your response on the Facebook page. Just what you think. So this one I found here this morning. This is a very interesting one. You're going to kick out of this one.
What
so the thread is under white people Twitter. Okay, I know, right? So
what?
here. So I know, right? This is
what are you about this? What are you?
So you'll see.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
this is gonna be
the Reddit thread here says, "How come when a house is haunted, it's always a ghost from the 1700s? Imagine a ghost from 2007 screaming, 'It's Britney, bitch!' at 3 a.m." I mean, you ever notice that? Like, usually when there's a haunting, it's always like an old guy. Like, you never see any, like 2000s ghosts or anything like that. Can you imagine that? If somebody died like right after Britney Spears had like shaved her head and like they're haunting her house, like, oh my God, it's Britney, bitch. I mean, you never hear anything of that. Why is it always like the older ghosts always haunt, somewhere, and the newer ones never do? Yeah. Could you imagine you wake up at 3 a.m., you hear a noise, you walk out here, there's a ghost standing in the living room. Where's my iPad? You'll never hear any of that. You never hear any of that kind of stuff. Just say it.
Here's Johnny.
So,
damn.
Give us your thoughts on that in the Facebook comments here. I mean, why is it that you always see, the older ghosts, you never see any newer ones? And what do you think, some of the newer ghosts, if we actually do eventually see any, what would they, would they say it's Britney, bitch, at 3 a.m.? I mean, talk about their iPads. I mean, let us know what you think.
Yeah. That's interesting, man. That is definitely interesting. You like the background picture I got there? That's a satellite view for
big eye
for those
right there.
listening and viewers. those listening to the audio version of this podcast, I got a picture up here on the screen here of a satellite view of Hurricane Irma as my background here.
Is it moving? I think it's moving slightly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that rotation.
I know that looks. Nature
The
can
big
be beautifully disastrous. You know that, like a bad girlfriend.
It's like a giant belly button, isn't it? Look at that.
Yeah.
Forget a hurricane eye. It's the belly button. That's what it is.
Belly button.
The belly button.
What does? Let's see if I can nail this joke right. What do hurricanes and tornadoes have in common?
What's that?
No, actually, it's what do tornadoes and women have in common?
Oh, when
not to offend any of the women.
When they get done blowing, they'll cost you your house, your car.
They come in, sucking and blowing, and they take everything from you. A hurricane is also in a way, it's like a bad divorce and a bad breakup. It comes in like a bat out of hell, takes everything away from you, and takes off and leaves you with nothing. You know what I mean? But Hurricane Irma, it did cause a lot of damn damage.
They're saying that damages could be as high as $65 billion. Now, let me just stop you for 1 second about this, okay?
Okay.
I want to know where they're getting this figure at for $65 billion. Because, okay, the last time that we had a bad hurricane come through, okay, I think it was, I remember when. It did not take anywhere near that amount of money to rebuild. When Katrina hit Louisiana, like that, it did not cost $65 billion to rebuild. So why all of a sudden is it $65 billion?
Well, that's what the Miami Hurl.
But I'm saying
that's what they're reporting right here. I got the article up right here.
Then let me get this straight. Let's just say 10 years from now, we have another hurricane that comes through and hits, the Keys and Miami and everything like that. What are they going to say? Oh, it's going to cost $106 billion? It's like, where? How?
Well, according to the Miami Herald, is that how am I saying it right?
I guarantee you.
Am I saying that right? Herald?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guarantee.
Apparently, on this article here, it's a study by the information of the company CoreLogic. Flooding wrecked the coastal damage to homes and businesses in the storm path. According to the analysts, the total insured and uninsured loss for both residential and commercial properties is an estimate between $42.5 billion and $65 billion.
Okay, so here's the thing now. You're telling me that they couldn't go in there with, let's say, $600 million and rebuild everything?
They could. They could. They can take about that. Yeah, they could. If the Florida Keys got hit the hardest.
Yeah.
They got hit the hardest because a lot of mobile homes and a lot of businesses down there, it's a big tourist attraction.
Yeah,
they got hit the hardest.
But a lot of that stuff, you said, a lot of mobile homes like that, they're not that expensive to build and replace. So this whole $65 billion, it's like if it costs, let's say, $500 million to rebuild, well, where's the rest of those billions of dollars going to? Pockets of freaking high officials? I mean, where's that going to?
Well, apparently the CoreLogic estimate, again, they used their analyst. I don't know how they held
These analysts can't do math. I'm sorry. I think they put an extra couple of zeros on there.
Well, the total flood loss for residential properties in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina to range between $25 billion and $38 billion.
See, and then Houston, I think, was only $10 billion or something like that. Yeah. So you're saying Houston and Texas like that, it costs almost the same as it does, these cost more than that. I mean, I don't.
Well, I
think that they're extremely overestimating this by about $20 billion, $30-40 billion.
Well, I guarantee that's funny because that's about basically what they did on the report right here. They're basically saying that the on the flood total covered by FEMA's natural flood insurance program is estimated at $5 billion to $8 billion. Uninsured residents, that's what they're counting. They're counting the uninsured residents' flood loss of 80% of the total flood damage is estimated at $20 billion to 30 billion. So they're taking those numbers there. It's estimates. It's not exact.
I just don't see how it's now in the billions when if you look at back in like 2004 when we had all those hurricanes and stuff come through, it wasn't even close to this amount of money, and we rebuilt just fine.
Well, I think the reason why is that they're calling it because of how the hurricane is big and destructive as it was as a Category 5 and 4. What was Andrew when that came through in 92?
That was a 4.
That was a 4.
And it wasn't $65 billion, I can tell you that.
No.
So you see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's $65 billion. Not at all. Not even. I don't even think it's $20 billion. I think really at most you're probably looking at like in the hundreds of millions. Mm-hmm. I would say, my guess, say $600 million, $700 million, they could rebuild.
Yeah. With that damage that's on property and commercial, you heard about what they were talking about with vehicle damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortune.com reports an estimate of 200,000 and 400,000 vehicles destroyed. That's crazy. The Fortune.com is basically estimated cost. This is including the hurricane damage from Harvey, which ranged about $65 billion to $190 billion.
See, I
don't know where they get these numbers at.
So they're telling me now. Okay, did you see that? So they're telling me that Harvey now, just from the automobiles, causing $65 to $190 billion. You're saying that it's almost $1 trillion.
Yeah,
are you serious?
They're saying also with Harvey and Irma submerged cars and properties across the southern U.S. as 2 Category 4 storms made landfalls within the same 2-week span. That's what they're saying. Now, they're saying Hurricane Harvey destroyed about 300,000 to 500,000
here's something I want to say.
Vehicles in Houston alone, according to the Cox Automotive estimate. So
here's what I want to say right here at the bottom of that. It says they estimate just the vehicles alone right there between 2.7 and 4.9 billion dollars. Okay?
I know.
First of all, okay, I can see the cars these people are driving here. Okay, I can tell you what, half those cars are probably Kelley Blue Booked at under $5,000 to $10,000 a piece. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm seeing like what is that? It's like a 98 Toyota Corolla over there. I guarantee you that's not a $100,000 car.
No.
I mean, that's definitely not $2.7 billion worth of cars. If we were talking about a whole bunch of Ferraris and Maseratis or something, or some like Rolls Royces, yeah. But that right there, no, not at all.
Now, this is what gets interested from Fortune.com. This is what they're saying now. Although fewer cars were estimated to have been lost in Hurricane Irma damage, an estimate of 200 to 400,000 vehicles were destroyed.
See, and I think that's a load of bullshit because I guarantee you that almost all those cars, it's from flood damage, which means they weren't destroyed, okay? It's just the engine and stuff, doesn't work anymore in it, and you can basically replace those engines, transmissions and stuff, put some new brakes on it and everything, and sell it. The whole car was not destroyed, okay?
Yeah.
It's not like when the water started flooding and rising, the whole car just started just like crumbling and shrinking up into a fucking ball of metal, okay?
Now, one thing wants to know, people, I guess we're asking this. I'm assuming they're asking this, but they're talking about, will insurance go up because of the hurricanes? Not
it will.
Not all hurricanes levels are the same type of damage. It's like different types of damage. It's like, you have a tree fall on your car, or you get hit rear end or side and rear damage. It's all different types of damage, but it's completely different storms on a lot of ways. And the hurricane damage you've received from your car to your car, the insurance will not go up because, of course, with insurance, natural disaster.
Every time the insurance companies have to pay out for something like this, it always goes up.
It does. It does. They do. Now, with Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey coming in and screwing everything up in Texas and Florida, I do want to say this real quick. My thoughts and prayers go out to the ones that lost anyone during both hurricanes. I'm sorry for your loss, and we just push through and just try to make it. You know, that's all we can do. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry that people's lost a lot of things during these natural disasters, and it's affected a lot of people. It's affected a lot of people down in the Keys and Miami, definitely, and it has affected a lot of people in Texas trying to recover from this. My thoughts and prayers go out to the ones that lost everything and has lost loved ones during these natural disasters, and also too that we come together. It's nice to see everyone come together and help each other rebuild what they've lost and rebuild their lives and try to get everything back. That's really good. It's like my neighbor, when I was boarding up my house before I left, he asked if he can borrow a little bit of supplies because he was in the middle of boarding up his house, and we helped each other out, which was really good. So everyone coming together, trying to rebuild life and move on and try to continue on with their lives. With disasters like this, FEMA steps in. You know, the federal, I don't even know what the hell FEMA stands for. I haven't really paid too much attention to FEMA until after the hurricane was just coming or was about to be coming. Apparently, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, there's a lot of stuff going around. I don't know if did you hear about these this conspiracy theory about these FEMA concentration camps? Did you hear anything about that?
No.
No?
No, come on now.
Yeah.
No. People just...
Yeah, now...
It that kind of shit right there is literally just people starting random stuff just to fuck with people over the internet.
Well, this
I'm
is...
sorry.
Well,
no,
this is
what
the
it
thing
is.
about
It's
FEMA.
just like people that have been putting up those things on Facebook for the past week where it's like, if you've been without power for 2 days or more, call the FEMA number and you'll get reimbursed or you get $250. No, you don't. That's just people making shit up to fuck with people over the internet. That's all that is. They're just stirring feathers.
Well, this is what I have to say about the FEMA camp conspiracy theory.
That's on Wikipedia, first of all, okay? So here's the thing. First of all, you can't leave shit that you read on Wikipedia, okay?
This is what I found because there's no hard evidence on this. Like this right here. Look at this right
Let's
here.
see
On
here.
the
Okay.
Look, see? Right here.
Let's see this.
Look at this right here. This page contains too many unsourced statements and need to be
Exactly.
improved. Now, there's one proof right here.
There's no proof.
One. All right, let me pull this up. I figured you were going to say this. All right, let me first hear me out here. Hear me out
I'm
here
listening
on this
to you.
shit.
I'm listening to
okay?
it. Okay,
hear me out. Okay, now the FEMA camp conspiracy theory. Okay, it's been around since the late '70s, but it hasn't picked up popularity in the 1990s because
it's been around since the late 70s.
I know.
Here we go.
I know.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Let's see
FEMA. All right. What they're saying about these FEMA camps?
Oh God. Okay. Now they're killing the homeless. Here we go.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Okay. Population control. I looked into this and I was looking.
Do you
at
want me
all
to
the
tell
stuff.
you what population control is?
Just hear me out. Hear me out. All right. Let me hear me out.
Population control is giving people a bunch of gas generators in Florida after a hurricane and then watching people take themselves out with the carbon monoxide, okay? That's population control right there, okay? I'm telling you that right
now. Well, hear me out.
I listen to
this. All right. FEMA provides shelters for people that want to go to a shelter, especially homeless people. Now, you know when they issue the martial law, no one can be out by these times. Okay, everyone that pays attention to the news, pays attention to the media, and reads and gets this information, they don't go out. You know, only stupid idiots. Now, here's the thing: homeless people, okay,
all right,
don't get this information. They're out wandering around. You know, they're like, hey, you know, what's going on? Cops come, take them. They give them two choices: one, go to jail because you're disobeying the law that's in effect right now, or two, go to a shelter. They go with going to a shelter. I mean, what homeless person wants to go to jail because they know they don't got the money?
Oh, they love to go to jail.
Well, there's
okay. I'll wait till you're done here because I got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
here.
now here's the
my
thing.
head is getting this big right now.
Here's the thing.
All right.
Now they go to the homeless shelter there. Okay, they end up staying there. They don't like something that's going on, maybe how things are going and everything, and they can't stand it, so they want to leave. They can't leave. And all of a sudden, it's like the homeless people they drag in there, FEMA, apparently they're saying that FEMA is taking these homeless people and making them disappear. They're killing them. According to this right here, they're talking about in Houston during Hurricane Harvey right here. I want to pull this up here. I'll let you see this news report right here. All right. I'm going to pull this up here. Hold on. Let me... pull this up here. Let me make sure I got the sound on here. You tell me what you think of this here. All right. Let me pull this up. All right.
All right. Let's see this.
All right.
Let's see this here now.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Hacking the Headlines. Thank you all for joining me.
Can you hear it?
I wanted to go over this story about a homeless man that was interviewed on the news, who supposedly said they were killing, well, he did say they were killing people in the shelters. And now some people might say this is, staged.
You know what?
And I mean,
not this one here.
I think that this
Let
is
me,
okay.
Here, hold on.
However, we know what these
not this one here.
and we know how these work.
Let me pull that up. That's okay. Let's see if this is the article right here.
Jake, who is...
No, not that. Trying to find a better one. Don't tell me the same one. Yeah, right here. Okay. All right. How come the volume is not up that high? No, that's up all the way. It's just my damn computer sucks.
All right, just put up here.
Let me. All right, everything's turned all the way up on the mixer here. All right, let me pull the mixer over here so I can actually adjust it. All right.
All right, let's see.
All right, let me pull this up here. Okay.
I'm going to sit down here with Jake, who's got his dog Bubba. Jake, who is homeless. Jake, you've found yourself some shelter here. Why are you outside during this entire hurricane?
Well, I chose not to go inside yesterday because the Salvation Army and Russian Winds homeless shelter, where they were accepting people, were caught killing everybody that was in there.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Jesus.
All right.
You hear what he said?
That is a gentleman that has a mental health issue that is being interviewed, and people are taking that seriously.
Well, listen to the rest of this. Listen.
That dude's probably drunk or fucked up.
Listen.
It's been a little miserable since about 12 o'clock last night. It wasn't too bad before then. About 12 o'clock, lightning, power went out in the neighborhood over here. And I'm actually a police officer.
Okay, sir.
He's actually a police officer.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently he... Okay.
That dude is not mentally stable, okay?
But
so,
if you know...
Let me just say this, okay? All right. First of all, okay, homeless people know exactly... I would just take Irma for existence, okay? For example, instance. People knew that it was coming. Whether you're homeless or not, everyone knew it was coming, okay?
Yeah.
The homeless community is a very tight-knit community. They talk, they hear things, they talk to people. They knew it was coming, okay?
Right.
Plenty of time to go seek shelter somewhere, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why these people were probably disappearing from those shelters, and this is from my personal experiences dealing with the homeless community, is probably because they wanted to go get drunk or something, or they didn't like the people that were in there, and they snuck out the door and took off and went hiding somewhere because they knew that they were going to get put back in there, okay? Second of all, okay, Homeless people don't mind going to jail because they get a place to sleep and they get free food. Okay? So, no. Okay. That whole killing camp thing is a bunch of BS. Started by a bunch of people just freaking mess with people's minds. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just a, conspiracy theory to just...
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Conspiracy made up by ass jackals is what it was.
Well, it's been around since the 1970s.
Of course it has.
You see this right here on the concentration
I want to correct
camps.
that. I think it was 1972 to be precise. Okay, March of 72.
Look at this.
Okay, I was there in 94. Okay.
Look at this right here. This Church of Christ, beware of the female death camps. The Jews thought it wouldn't happen. I don't know.
That's Photoshop.
It just is.
Okay.
It just is. Well, let's move on from this. All in all, the hurricane screwed everything up. We're going to rebuild our lives and get everything back together. Everyone's going to come together as a community, and Texas and Florida.
And I guarantee you it won't cost $65 billion. I can tell you that.
You hear about Dave Mustaine lately? You hear about what he's been working on lately? He's been working on a video game.
Well, he's been, some kind of video game, and he had a bunch of unused riffs that he's going to use in the game, supposedly, or something like that. I mean, I've never been like a huge Megadeth fan, so I never really followed him a lot, but it came across some of my music websites the other day, so I saw it. But
apparently he's going to be Megadeth is going to be on tour, in North America tour with the Scorpions, and then they'll run down to South America, and then they're going to take some time off when the tour's over. Now, Megadeth's going to get ready to record their next album, and Dave Mustaine is working on a video game as a composer, and I just don't you love pop-ups like this right here?
You know what I gotta say.
Now here's the thing on this right here. Now he's working as a composer on a video game, and a lot of the band's history with a lot of riffs that was never used before are going to be used on this next video game. They own a record label and one more record, so at least there's going to be doing one more record. Dave Mustaine says he don't see the end in sight for us because the band's getting along really well right now and they're playing great. Megadeth's going to be touring with the Scorpions. It already kicked off on Thursday, September 14th. This is a few days old, in Reading, Pennsylvania, and it will conclude in Tampa, Florida on October 15th. The 16-date track dubbed The Crazy World Tour celebrates Scorpions' 1990 LP of the same name. Yeah. Pretty interesting, huh?
Well, I just want to say that I've started to go through my huge collection of CDs lately. A lot of music in there.
Right.
I think I have somewhere around... I think it's around 500 or 600 something CDs and stuff. I've been collecting over the years, and on music news. This is kind of funny. Back in the day, I discovered this band, and I thought that I looked them up the other day to see if they were still around.
Right.
Ironically, they are, and just got off a tour, so I'm pretty happy about that. In case you haven't heard of them, so I'll throw a little shout out here. Horse the Band. Okay.
I've heard
Horse the Band. It's a very uniquely sounding band. I put on their first album the other day, which included the song Cutsman, which is based upon the villain from the Mega Man series. If you remember that, we had the scissors for hand, or the scissor on top of his head, or was Cutsman.
Yeah.
So one of their first popular song was called Cutsman. It was pretty cool. If you get a chance to check them out, Horse the Band, HORSC. Horse the Band. Horse the Band. Pretty cool stuff. Definitely check them out. It's definitely an acquired taste to music. So, I recommend just getting the first album.
Right.
Just hitting play from the first track and just listen through it. Don't, get all harsh or negative or even overly positive. I mean, just kick back, relax, and just listen to it. And give it an honest review.
Mm-hmm. Sammy, you like classic rock, right?
A little bit, depending who I'm talking about.
Van Halen.
Like, did you know I wear my sunglasses at night?
Van Halen is one of my favorite rock bands because I was exposed to them at a very early age. I was 5 years old.
I remember
MTV when MTV used to play music videos. I remember for the first time I saw Van Halen's Jump, seeing David Lee Roth jumping and doing those crazy stunts. I was hooked. I mean, my brother, he had Van Halen cassettes and stuff. I think he had Diver Down and the album with Jump on it.
Yeah.
Had some really good songs on there. Well, the Van Hagar era with Sammy and stuff, they had some really good songs and stuff, and then we know the history, what happened with Sammy and Van Halen departing. Apparently, I guess Sammy Hagar was recently asked if he would ever consider doing a Van Halen reunion.
My favorite era was the David Lee Roth era.
Mine too.
I absolutely, and
I grew up on it. That was
what
I was exposed first.
People may hate me for this, but I did not like Sammy Hagar era whatsoever. There was not a single song that I liked.
A lot of people didn't like Van Halen with Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
You're not the only person. It's split down the middle.
And to be honest, I don't like a single thing that Sammy Hagar has done except for make tequila. I mean, I'm serious. Like
he had a
musically,
he has a successful
solo. Well, and here's the thing, though. I think it's because it was probably the generation before me that is his fan base. But I personally do not like anything musically that he has done at all. At all, nothing.
You don't
nothing at all.
You can't drive 55.
Nothing at all.
I do. His solo stuff. He had some really good songs, and I love the Roth era. I also like the Hagar era, but the Roth era seemed more rock, that rock feel. The Hagar era was more of a kind of like a ballad pop kind of, like, I don't know. It was different from what it was. Then, of course, you got the album that everyone, I have it somewhere, is the one where they did the one album with the singer from Extreme, Gary Sharon. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one is like, But Van Halen, David Lee Roth, that's my Van Halen. If you like David Lee Roth, Van Halen, that's awesome. You like Sammy Hagar, Van Halen, that's awesome too. But apparently, David Lee Roth is with Van Halen now. Now the question is like, would Sammy Hagar ever get back with them?
Well, I remember they did a tour a few years ago where they had both David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, in 2002.
And they split the shows up and they did half and half.
Yeah, neither one of them was in Van Halen.
It's definitely a possibility that he probably would for something, but at this point, probably not. But, honestly, in my opinion, who the fuck cares, Nobody likes the Sammy Hagar era. Let him do his Sammy Hagar stuff. Keep David Lee Roth, and that's the thing, though. That's the one thing that kind of gets me is that, okay, I'm just saying, like, I'm not a fan of Sammy Hagar's music, but he's had a very successful solo career.
Yeah.
But people are always trying to refer him back to Van Halen.
They are.
It's like they got David Lee Roth back. Okay. The guy has had a successful solo career.
Mm-hmm.
Focus more on that. Quit trying to drag him back into the past like that.
Right.
It's like, okay, how about, would you play some Sammy Hagar era like Van Halen songs in your next tour, or something like that? But every time you hear an interview with this guy, they're always asking him, so you're going to get back with Van Halen again? I mean, it's like...
Well, if
it's just
you let me get to the article, I can actually talk about it.
It's just like...
Let me get to the article, please.
It's just like when they used to interview, they never interviewed Ronnie James Dio all the time. Like, you going to get back with Black Sabbath every time? It's like, no. It's like, what are you going to do on your next album,
Right.
Not every interview. So how about Black Sabbath, huh? It's like, dude, come on.
Well... He put the rumor to rest here, according to blabbermouth.net. Okay, right now, Hagar is currently on the road with the Circle, which consists of Michael Anthony and drummer Jason Bonham, who's the son of one of the greatest rock and roll drummers.
Yeah, he has that whole John Bonham Experience band thing that he's doing.
Yeah,
it's
and
cool.
guitarist Vic Johnson. The group plays songs from the members' tracks of Van Halen and Led Zeppelin, which is awesome. Imagine hearing John Bonham's son playing his dad. Oh man, he did during the Led Zeppelin thing. Well, anyway, I'm jumping off course here. I forgot about the Led Zeppelin reunion thing that happened one time. Okay, according to the Pulse of Radio, Hagar spoke about his regrets regarding Van Halen, telling Newsday, quote, "The last thing I want to do is have one of us that are still alive and able to do something die and then go. I wish we would have gotten together one more time." Quote, "The Van Halen thing, I think, is a dead horse. Honestly, I'm so busy and occupied with everything else in my life that it's not on my front burner where every day I'm checking my email. It's not on my bucket list." Now, you ever listen to Chickenfoot? Did you ever listen to Chickenfoot?
Yeah, I have.
Chickenfoot was awesome. You had Sammy Hagar. You had Joe Santarante on guitar. You had Michael Anthony on bass, and you had Chad Smith, the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer. They put out some good, catchy little songs. You know, it was something different.
I'm not a fortune teller by any means. You give it 6 months, and I guarantee they're gonna have another article up about this. I guarantee you that. I guarantee that.
They probably will.
Yeah.
They probably will. They probably will.
I just want to tell if anybody in these music website things ever hear this or see this or whatever, stop asking him about if he's going to do something with Van Halen. Okay? Stop. The dead horse has been beaten so much, there's no dead horse left to beat. Okay?
Well, I'll tell you what, McShaft. There is not one dead horse that we'll never ever, we'll never beat, or whatever the hell the term is merchandise from ELS. Right there on the screen, and audio listeners, head over to everettleeshow.weebly.com and click on the merch tab for ELS merchandise. Look for special promos where you could save free shipping, 25 to 15% off. Check for those promos when they become available. And purchasing an ELS and Chris Carnage t-shirt helps the podcast and helps Everett Lee, McShaft, and Chris Carnage. So be sure to pick up a merchandise t-shirt.
What it does not help is Sammy Hagar getting back with Van Halen, okay? Okay, I'm just going to put that out there, okay? I just want to put that out there, okay? All right.
Yep. That's basically what...
Van Halen's going to do a couple of shows here, a little mini tour, and someone's going to ask them, hey, have you talked to Sammy Hagar in a while about maybe getting back together with him? Just wait. You just wait.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God.
All right. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with Raw and SmackDown Live.
Well,
I got something here when we get to SmackDown I want you to see, and I wanted to hear what your reaction is to this. I'll pull it up here in a minute.
Okay, so
Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
Is doing terrible. Mm-hmm. You know. Well, actually, let me get to that here in a minute. You saw in the last couple weeks on Raw, they're talking about someone coming to Raw from NXT. We're talking about Asuka. Asuka coming to the Raw brand. I honestly think that it will help the women's division on Raw.
Well,
the SmackDown women's division is pretty good of who they use and who they utilize. Unlike Raw, you basically have about 2 people, and you make that up they focus on, and that's the Raw's division. You know, with Asuka coming, it should mix things up, though. But the good and bad about this is how Vince treats NXT talent coming up, and of course you got Mr. Beaver there, Mr. Kevin Dunn, you know, nibbling in Vince's ear. You know, it's like, look at Asuka. she looks like she can serve some sushi and egg rolls. That's basically what they would probably end up doing with Asuka.
I think
hopefully they don't destroy Asuka's character and they keep the character how she was in NXT, undefeated, good wrestler, and dominant.
I think that
we could see some good feuds.
I think Asuka, it's gonna help the women's division in the long run, but it's gonna hurt it really bad at first, and I'll tell you why.
Why is that?
Because Asuka is such a good wrestler, okay, that the women she is going to be facing are not at her level by any means. Not all of them, but most of them. So
Bailey's one that can put hang with her. You saw NXT take over Brooklyn.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Basically, she's going to make most of these other women wrestlers look so bad, it's going to hurt the women's division so much, okay? Certain ones will succeed, okay? So like Bailey, who we've seen fight, okay, her. Charlotte, Sasha Banks, stuff like that.
Well, Charlotte's on SmackDown.
I'm just saying, in general.
Yeah.
Maybe Becky Lynch eventually. But
she's on SmackDown.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so you look at Raw here, okay? Who do you really have on Raw besides Bailey, okay, that is a good, really good women's wrestler, okay? I can tell you right now that when Asuka has to fight people like Alexa Bliss,
right?
Okay,
Sasha Banks, I'd like to see that.
I'm just going to tell you this right now, okay? A lot of these women wrestlers, you can already see it now. When you take women's wrestlers, such as, let's just say Carmella, okay, we'll look at, like you said, Nia Jax, Tamina Snuka, Alexa Bliss, okay.
Well, you're kind of bouncing over.
I'm just saying.
Just in general.
Even like Naomi, because I'm separating it here, okay?
Yeah.
When you look at how they wrestled, okay, and then you look at when you had the Women's Revolution come in, Bailey, Charlotte, Sasha, women who legit had some sick wrestling skills and could put on a way better wrestling match than they could. Look what happened, okay?
Yeah.
You really saw these other women's flaws in their wrestling ability and how sloppy they were. Now, they have started to improve, like people like Naomi, Alexa Bliss, okay? They've improved a lot in their wrestling skills, okay?
I get that.
Because they're kind of forced to, because if you took Alexa,
especially Alexa, if she can't rely a lot on her promo skills.
Well,
she can't.
If you took Alexa Bliss, I'm not talking about wrestling, just wrestling skills. Wrestling skills.
Okay.
If you took Alexa Bliss from 3 years ago and put her in a match against Charlotte, okay, she would look so bad in that match. Okay, that right there hurts the women's division when you have someone really bad like that. Okay,
right.
So now, okay, let's fast forward. So here you have Asuka, who is an absolute fabulous, strong style women's wrestler, come in. Okay. If you look at her last couple of matches she's had with Ember Moon and all that kind of stuff, I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah,
better than anything that you've seen from 60% of all the women on Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
So now when you bring her in here to Raw and she's got to fight people, like Alexa Bliss or like Nia Jax, stuff like that, you're going to start seeing their flaws in their wrestling ability very quick. And whether or not they're going to have Asuka go through and be an undefeated streak again or not, the fact is that you're going to see her just totally annihilate these other women, okay?
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt
She's
the division.
so
and here's the thing now.
Yeah.
In the short
she's so
run, it's
skilled.
going to hurt the division so bad because you're going to start, it's going to be like, oh, well, Asuka's fighting Alexa Bliss again. We know that Asuka's going to win, and we know that Alexa Bliss isn't going to do anything exciting, In the long run, it's going to help because now she's setting that bar so high that now
they're going to have
the next set of women coming up.
Yeah.
They're going to have to, home in their skills, and it's going to make the women's wrestling a lot more exciting in a long run. But in the short one, and the first, let's say probably year that she's on Raw or SmackDown or wherever she is on the main roster, it's going to hurt the women's division. I'm just saying, you never know. They might switch her to SmackDown after you. I don't know. But my thing is that if they do another split flip flop, you may see some because they're talking about doing another shake up here soon. But I'm just saying
they may just keep her on Raw.
I'm talking about people from SmackDown coming over to Raw. Like if you had Naomi come over to Raw. But here's what I'm saying: you're gonna see these women, okay, that did not go through the NXT system, that did not really get the training.
Naomi did.
But look at her wrestling ability.
Earlier on.
Look at her wrestling
it's
ability.
Improved.
It has improved. But
unlike Natty Neidhart, who's a veteran, she still has botches.
Yes. Almost all of them do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Naomi's wrestling skill today, or just an example, is way better than what she was, let's say, a year ago or so, okay?
Yeah, she's
However, would you rather see Naomi fighting, let's say, Sasha Banks, or would you rather see Charlotte Flair fighting Sasha Banks?
I'd rather see Naomi.
You think she's more exciting against Sasha Banks than Charlotte and Sasha Banks?
Actually, no.
You see what I'm saying?
Like ring skills, I'd have to go with Charlotte because
that's what I'm saying. I'm going clarity on a wrestling match. Okay.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing with Asuka. Now, all right, Asuka. Okay, it can help with the feud. Remember Asuka had the feud with Bayley in NXT Brooklyn?
Yeah.
You got to realize there's a lot of people who watch Monday Night Raw that did not.
Right.
That does not have
my
the
thing
network
is that
has the network.
My thing
now,
is
the thing is
it's gonna hurt.
With her with a lot of people not having the network, like a lot of the casuals. They didn't get to see that.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
Well, this is the point I'm getting to. Okay, the way I'm looking at it is you're going to get to see some feuds Asuka's never had with like Alexa Bliss and other people on Monday Night Raw, Emma. Okay, now NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, I think it was 2.
Yeah.
With Bayley winning the NXT Women's Championship from Asuka. You got to realize a lot of casuals don't have the network, so they're not familiar with NXT talent coming up. Okay, a lot of diehards who have the network, watches NXT, keeps up with NXT. When these NXT people debut, they get a good pop because they're like, yeah, it's like finally, it's good to see them on the main roster. Okay, now that feud, that build-up with Bayley and Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship down in NXT was good. And they put on one hell of a match because remember, from NXT Brooklyn 2, people talked a lot about Bayley and Asuka with that match because they put on one hell of a show. Okay, now have that feud on the main roster, which will basically the diehards and the casuals, especially casuals who didn't get to see it, will get to see it. You see, that's one thing about with the NXT talent. A lot of
that's what I'm talking about. Exclude Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha Banks. Exclude them.
I know where you're coming from. You're talking about
my
them
thing is
killing, hurting the division because everyone's going to have to raise the bar with their skills.
Well,
but
not that's going to raise
how
it.
Much?
Not that's going to raise it.
How much of a style
in the short run
they will let her use?
In the short
how much wrestling will they let her use?
In the short time, let's say 6 months to a year. During that time when these women are going to have to really kind of step up their game, you're going to see so many of the flaws in their wrestling ability that they kind of hide because they're wrestling people with the kind of the same experience, same ability level that you're going to see, So when you put them against somebody at a much higher level, you're going to start seeing all these flaws. And in a short time, let's say 6 months to a year, it's going to hurt the women's division. But then after, let's say, a year or so, because it's going to force them to push their abilities up to the next level, it's going to get better. But my thing is that everyone's going to be so excited when she comes to Raw.
Yeah.
The thing they got to remember, too, is that for the first few months or so, almost a year, you're not going to be... A lot of fans are going to be disappointed because when they start seeing her wrestle somebody like Alexa Bliss... they're going to start seeing all these flaws with Alexa Bliss, and it's going to ruin the match. And all these people that are so excited to see her, and the ones that haven't seen her before, that have seen her for the first time, they're going to be like, what is this garbage?
Well, one thing they talked about doing on the main roster, one of the rumors is they talked about on the main roster that they were talking about doing is having Asuka keep her undefeated streak. How she basically gave up. She had to relinquish the NXT championship, and when she did relinquish it, she did it as undefeated. They may build her and keep her like Goldberg with the undefeated
My whole thing
streak.
is that they need to start weeding through their women's division here, and they need to start bringing some of these new women up to the division and start clearing out some of the old ones who need to just get the fuck out of here.
Especially did you watch the Mae Young Classic?
Yeah.
A lot of that talent. I am so glad that
they signed a lot of them.
Yeah, they signed a lot of them, like Kyra Sane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying her name right. Kyra Sane, Kyra Sun. Yeah, Kyra Sane. Fantastic talent. She will be taking Asuka's spot since Asuka's coming up, because they're already trying to integrate her into the title picture. But with a lot of the talent that was in the Classic, they can sign them to NXT and move up like a Billie Kay, Peyton Royce.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that duo like on a SmackDown
That's what I'm
or Raw. Ember Moon, baby. I mean, having her, bring her to Raw and have her feud with Asuka. There you go. There's something there too. But speaking of Raw, speaking of Raw, you hear about the ratings with Raw?
The ratings? No, I haven't.
Yeah. Well, actually,
I just want to do something here, okay? So what I want to do is I just want to pull up the women here in WWE real quick, okay? Raw and SmackDown here. Where would we start with Raw? Because Asuka's going to Raw. So I can tell you right now, okay? Start cleaning out this women's division and start, getting ready for this newer talent coming up here, okay? So right now, Alexa Bliss, okay? Maybe that's a stay or a go. Alicia Fox, get rid of her, okay?
Yeah.
Bayley, you're going to keep. Let's see here. Who's another one? Dana Brooke.
They need to send her back in NXT. They haven't done nothing with her.
Just get rid of her.
Disappointment.
Just get rid of her. Get rid of her. Emma, get rid of her.
Emma,
get rid of her.
They should send her back down to NXT.
Let's see. Well, no, I'd say just get rid of her. Mickey James, I guess you could keep her. She's got some. She could still pull off some okay stuff.
Well,
Nia Jax,
they haven't really done nothing with her.
Maybe not. Paige, just get rid of her.
Paige is coming back.
Just get rid of her.
Here's the thing about Paige. Since you brought up Paige,
Summer Rae, get rid of her.
Who?
Exactly. Get rid of her.
Now Paige, I want to throw this out here. Now with Paige, she's at the Performance Center. She is going to be making her comeback. Will she go to Raw or will she go to SmackDown? We don't know. I'll tell you the Paige I want to see. I want to see the anti-diva Paige that we saw in NXT.
Yeah, but honestly,
not what was developed.
She's not going to be able to stand a chance with all these newer women coming in. Here's my thing. Here's an example. Alicia Fox.
Let's go Alicia Fox. Get rid of her.
Would you?
Dana Brooke.
Do you think an Alicia Fox, okay, versus, let's say, Alicia Fox versus Charlotte Flair is more exciting than watching, let's say, the last Asuka Ember Moon match? Which one do you think is more exciting? Okay? See? My point exactly.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay? Now, here's the other thing, okay? So, let's go to SmackDown here real quick. I just want to go to SmackDown just to see. Okay, so Becky Lynch. Do you think that her and Asuka could put on a legit, good match? Like, if you had to take the last Asuka Ember Moon or Asuka Ember Moon Nikki Cross triple threat and put that against, let's say, Becky Lynch match, which one do you think would be more exciting?
Damn.
See?
Yeah.
Okay. Carmella, same thing. I mean, I think the most exciting move she ever did was like a drop kick one time. Okay.
Who's that?
Carmella. See what I'm saying? Okay. So here's one right here. Okay.
What are you laughing at?
Let's see who we got here. Okay, Lana. I'm sorry, but
Lana,
no, okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Naomi. Okay.
Naomi.
Do you really, even though she's improved, do you really think that she could put on a 5-star match like Charlotte and Sasha or Ember Moon and Asuka, do you think that she could put on a match?
All right, here we go.
No.
Since you're bringing this
no technicalities.
What?
If you had Naomi versus Asuka 1-on-1, would that be a better match than the last like Asuka Ember Moon match? Do you think that
it would? I think it wouldn't be a 5-star match. It would be a decent match, but it wouldn't be long because look at the technicality of Asuka. Look at her style versus Naomi. Naomi is more of a gymnastic.
Yeah, but look at Bayley. I mean, Bayley had a different style. You know what I'm saying?
Bayley pulled stuff out of her ass that we didn't ever see before.
Sasha Banks. What I'm saying is if you took Naomi and you booked her 1-on-1 with Asuka, okay, just 1-on-1. I'm not. And do you think if you compare that to the last, like let's say Asuka Ember, because that match was amazing at Takeover, Asuka Ember Moon.
Yeah.
Would Naomi's match with Asuka, would that compare equally, at least equally as good than that match?
Ember Moon,
because
and
you
Asuka.
know that someone like Charlotte Flair or Bayley or Sasha Banks, okay, or Mickie James. Remember, she fought Asuka too. Mm-hmm. Those matches were just as exciting, if not maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than that match, you know what I'm saying? And that's the issue that we're going to have. So now you have Natalya, too. Same thing like you were saying, you know? Do you really think that she's going to be able to put on a 5-star match like Ember Moon and Asuka did?
But you got to keep in mind, too,
and I'm not talking about
how they wrestle in NXT compared to when they get up to the main roster is different.
Well, and I'm just saying,
yeah,
Natalya went back down to NXT at one point and stuff, and don't forget that, okay?
Yeah, she got to show her skills down there because NXT. I look at NXT
even though they're going to
80% wrestling, 20% story.
Even though that they're going to obviously limit what Asuka's going to be doing in the main roster, you know it's still going to be awesome because her ability itself is awesome.
Yeah.
But do you think, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, you know, they're...
Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
So then you have like Nikki Bella, okay? You've got people, you know...
Well, Nikki Bella, she's dancing with the stars right now. Now, Brie Bella...
Tamina. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They need to start clearing out some of these women and start bringing in the future.
You're not the only person that said that. You're not the only person that said that. Yeah.
I know, I'm just saying.
Definitely. Now, speaking of clearing stuff out, No Mercy's this Sunday.
Yes, it is.
Now, take a look at the match card here. Let's briefly run down this real quick here.
All right, let's see here.
Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship. Who would you pick to win?
Oh, I'm going with Strowman.
I am too. I'd love to see Strowman get it.
However, being the hardcore fan that I am, okay, you know as well as I know that they're not going to take that belt off of Lesnar until probably Mania.
After Mania.
And you know that they're going to probably make it Reigns versus Lesnar this year. So you know as much as we want Strowman to win that title and as much, okay, as we want Lesnar to lose it, like we did with Samoa Joe even.
Well, maybe they may take it off and put it on Strowman, and then you may see Brock get his rematch and then get it. Who knows?
I don't know.
But
I hope.
I love to see Braun win this.
I hope Strowman wins the Rumble.
Yeah.
And then it goes Lesnar, Strowman, Reigns, triple threat, and then Braun Strowman gets it.
Yes. Yeah. Keep Roman.
But honestly, I hope Braun Strowman wins.
Yes.
But I know in the back of my I know in the back of my mind that Lesnar's gonna keep it. I know that he is.
All right, we got the Fatal 5-Way. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Bayley versus Nia Jax versus Emma. One thing I didn't say is Bayley was injured for almost a month. She comes back, and now she's added to the match. I'm not picking her to win it. I'm not picking Alexa Bliss to retain it.
I
I'm
hope
not
Nia
picking
Jax.
Sasha Banks, Nia Jax.
I hope
I'm going
Nia
with
Jax.
it. I have a feeling they're going
I
to throw
hope
the belt
Nia
on her,
Jax.
and they're going to build. They're going to go more towards that story with her and Alexa. Who knows? Or they may bring Asuka in.
Now let me ask you this though: do you think that we could have done this match without having Emma in it? I mean, would she really make that much big of a difference?
She is a good wrestler, but since she didn't play game with the Emelina gimmick,
I don't think she's a good wrestler
eating
at all.
crap right now.
I don't think she's a good wrestler.
Did
at all.
you see the NXT takeover?
Have you ever seen
takeover NXT Arrival?
Have you ever seen
the
a
first
best
network special with her and Paige?
You ever see a Best of Emma DVD anywhere?
Because they don't utilize her. They don't freaking utilize her.
Because if she was good, they would utilize her. I
She
mean,
is
look
good,
at-
dude.
look-
You got the network. Go on there.
I've seen it.
Look up.
I've seen it.
Arrival.
I saw it. I saw it.
NXT Arrival.
I've seen it.
Emma versus Paige.
I've seen it.
For the first ever NXT Women's Championship.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it.
All right. The
Like
Miz
I said.
versus Jason Jordan for the Intercontinental Championship.
This
The
will be
Miz
my
is only
bathroom break.
Huh?
This will be my bathroom break for the pay-per-view. I don't give two shits about Jason Jordan, and I don't give a shit about The Miz, and I know they're not going to get that championship off The Miz yet. So the only way they're going to get that championship off The Miz is when Maurice finally goes into labor. So I know Miz is going to retain it. And honestly, I don't see, in the past few weeks I've watched this guy, Jason Jordan, wrestle. I have not seen anything remotely spectacular about this guy. And I honestly feel that he is a waste of TV time and they could be putting somebody else in that place with better wrestling talent.
Well, to
be honest.
Yeah.
I've given the guy like 3 weeks, and I have actually a month. I've given the guy a month.
Well, no one likes him. No one's not pulling for him. He's not getting cheers or anything because of the damn outcome of the storyline with
I'm not even
Kurt
basing
Angle's son.
I'm not even basing it on that.
I would have liked to see Finn Balor. They should have put him in the IC championship run. Okay, I would like to see that. I'd say the Miz is going to retain, like you. Next, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus Sheamus Cesaro, Raw Tag Team. I'm going to have to go with Ambrose and Rollins keep retaining over Sheamus and Cesaro.
I think so. I think they're going to keep it for
they're going to keep him for a while. They're going to let him run with it.
I don't think we're going to see anything super spectacular. I think the most spectacular thing we're going to see out of this match is when Cesaro and Seth Rollins face off, because those are probably the better two men out of these teams.
And not unless someone brings another beach ball for Cesaro to destroy.
You're gonna see some good uppercuts and some swings by Cesaro, some good high flying stuff from Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, anything between Sheamus and Dean Ambrose couldn't really give two shits about. And honestly, it'd be a snooze fest for them.
All right. Now, this one right here, I don't want to get too much into because I know where you stand on this, and you know where I stand on this. John Cena versus Roman Reigns.
Who do I think is going to win? Okay, so not to make this like a whole 45-minute segment.
Yes.
I think that they're going to have Roman Reigns beat John Cena because they're still trying to build this guy up back into the heavyweight division.
I agree with you. I do definitely agree with you. I believe Cena's going to put him over, and it's not going to work. Like you said, they're going to try to put him into the, the heavyweight picture, Universal title picture again. I definitely agree. Now, this next match, they should have put this person in the Intercontinental Championship picture. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. We already saw that.
I think they're going to have Finn Balor win again against Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Because lately they haven't been given Wyatt the big wins on these pay-per-views.
No.
So, Finn Balor win this match again.
Neville versus Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Do we even have to ask this one? Do we even have to ask?
This is pre-show. You know what?
I can tell you who's going to win this one. Let me see here. Huh?
Who do you pick?
Well, considering it's going to be Neville fighting himself pretty much, I'm going to say Neville. Because, I mean, really, Enzo, here's my prediction.
Enzo the belt,
here's my prediction.
I'm like,
Enzo comes out, he cuts a 25-minute promo about God knows the fucking what. They have a 10-minute match. Neville wins.
Oh my god!
And then he cuts a short promo afterwards. And then Big Cass runs out and gives him the big boot, knocks him out again for the 100th time. There you go.
But you know and I know that you're only half the man that I am. And I have half the brain that you do.
WWE presents No Mercy. Brought to you by the Raw brand.
And to be honest, half these matches they are showing No Mercy on us.
8 o'clock this Sunday on the WWE Network. The pre-show, 7:30. Maybe the Cruiserweight title is going to be one of those pre-show things. Who knows?
Dude, this is going to be a painful pay-per-view. They really are showing us No Mercy on this.
Now, I mentioned this a couple times already. Now we're definitely going to get to it. Let's jump back. The ratings. You hear about the ratings for Monday Night Raw there?
I'm not a big ratings guy.
Read this. Just as interesting because read this off here while I pull this next thing up. I was wanting to show you. Go ahead, read what I got you down there. What was the Raw ratings there, McShaft, for this past Monday on September 18th of 2017?
The Raw ratings did a 0.99, which equals to 3.1 million viewers. That is a number 4 for cable programs on Monday evening.
That's not good. What's going on right now on Monday nights besides wrestling?
Football.
Exactly. Raw in the last couple of weeks have been trying to pull and trying to do stuff. If you notice with Raw, they pull out their main objectives, main points, and main stories at the beginning, and then as Raw goes on, it goes fizzles out because football. What time's football usually start? 8 o'clock.
I don't have cable. I can't tell you.
Well, I believe 8 o'clock. Okay, Monday Night Raw 8 o'clock. They want to get that rating for that first hour. They don't want you to watch football. Okay. However, if you're out somewhere where you have multiple TVs, you can watch both, but that's beside the point. Now, that's pretty damn bad. Ratings are slipping. SmackDown, same damn thing. Check this out, McShaft. You know, SmackDown was in, I think it was, they were in, damn pop-ups. They were in Oakland, California last night. Did you know the attendance for Oakland was bad?
I know that.
Yeah. Well, take a look right here. This is what the arena looked like right here, man. Check this out. This is from a person that posted this on Twitter with the handle at Sasha and Sammy. Check out this right here. Look at this. I want to pull this up on the screen here. Look at that. See that? That's the arena.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that, man. Yep. Is that not crazy? Is that not freaking crazy right there?
Mm-hmm.
That is. Now here's another view. Check this out. Look at this right here. Right here. Dude, look at that.
Yeah.
From another person that attended it last night. Look at that. Right.
Yep.
Right in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
And that's not even the hard camera side too. That's the sad thing.
I know. That's the camera. Yeah, that is the camera side. See right
that's
there?
Not the hard. The hard camera side is what they're viewing.
Oh, you want to see the hard camera sign? There's a picture of that too, man. Look at this. This is the hard camera sign, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. Look at that.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at that, right there.
Yep.
Just, it's ridiculous, man. Apparently, the house shows they're not doing that great either.
No.
Wrestling right now. And
I'm going to tell you why.
Wrestling. It's WWE has nothing interesting.
Well,
WWE does not really have anything interesting because, you know, I'll tell you why too. Maybe we'll agree on this. Where are people going to get more excitement, more entertainment, and more wrestling? They're
going on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
But
what are they watching? They're watching New Japan, Ring of Honor, Ether. My wife said football. Yes, they are.
They're going to see football.
That was my wife in the background. Yeah, they're watching football. They're going other places for wrestling because right now there's
Well,
what
and
what they're
yeah,
doing.
and that is true. And I'll
Do
tell you,
you agree? Do you see where I'm
I
coming
agree,
from,
and
right?
I'll tell you the other half of that too.
Yeah.
What are your ticket prices? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That plays in factor too.
Why am I going to spend hundreds, almost maybe 1,000 or so, okay, of dollars?
Yeah.
To get good seats at these events,
right?
Okay, when it's not exciting, okay, when I could spend $10 a month, watch it from the comfort of my own home, or go somewhere that's
online.
Playing, yeah, but ticket prices, okay, that's one thing. Okay, second of all, the talent.
Yes.
Okay, right there. I mean, you're not going to go. You're not going to go watch, a bunch of people that wrestle shitty and pay a bunch of money for it. So there's your top two things right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Lower your fucking ticket prices first of all. Okay.
Yeah.
Why should I have to spend $1,000 on? I'm not being accurate by any means. I'm just throwing a number out there because I know that those ticket prices for those events get pretty pricey. Why should I have to spend? Okay, let's just say ringside's $500. Why should I have to spend $500 to go sit ringside at SmackDown and only really like or watch maybe 2 or 3 people when I could spend, let's say, $65 for ringside and go to a Ring of Honor event and see a lot more exciting wrestling. I may not know everybody. I may not know every wrestler's in there, but the matches are going to be more exciting for my $50, $60 versus paying $500. And what do you
Yeah.
What do you get?
Exactly. I listened to Jericho's podcast last night. I tell you, I listened to a lot of podcasts. Other people's podcasts?
Yeah.
Okay. I listened to Steve Austin's podcast. I listened to JR's podcast. I listened to Jericho, Talk is Jericho, Steve Austin podcast, JR, Ross Report. I listen to different types. I also listen to music ones like Eddie Trunk podcast. But here's the point. Here's the thing, okay, with the podcast I was listening to. At work, I sit there and I tell you while I'm working, I'm able to listen and catch up with a lot of podcasts. Hell, I even play our podcast back to see how what the quality sounds like, which I'm impressed and happy with because you sound great. You sound awesome as usual. I sound awesome as usual. So we got that, dynamic going on, which sounds awesome because there's times where I forgot stuff we talked about, and when I hear it, I laugh my ass off, especially some of the stuff you say. But besides the point, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm up working, and I pull up on my phone there. I'm like, podcast 1. I'm like, what's Talk is Jericho got? Bam. They just posted, I was telling you about this, to Cody, don't say his last name's Rhodes. Interview. That's basically how he worded it.
Yeah, don't say the last name because the Stooge might take him out.
Now, when I was listening to it, Cody pulled up a good point.
Fuck the revival. I know it's a good point.
He actually can't say that. Can't say that. If you caught last a couple podcasts back, I don't know if you noticed that I bleeped you out saying the F-bomb.
Did it?
I did. Just in honor of what they do on Being the Elite. Okay.
I'll give you good. I'll give you
just in a
I'll
minute.
give you a good one here.
We'll go into it since we're talking with. Okay.
Fuck the revival. That's a good one right there. There you go.
Now let me just say this. Okay, Cody. We'll get into Being the Elite with Cody because he's part of the Bullet Club. Cody mentioned. He said, "Now, unlike it was back then, it was hard to get access to wrestling. The whole thing is nowadays with social media, the internet, you can access wrestling. You can access wrestling that you never heard of. You've introduced to me. You told me about a promotion over in Scotland where Drew McIntyre was Drew Gallows over there.
Insane Championship Wrestling.
I didn't know. I never knew that existed until you're like, hey man, because you're always pulling up some kind of promotion.
Shakara Pro, Progress Wrestling.
Pro wrestling. Have you ever watched Walt Culture Pro Wrestling, which is pretty awesome?
Mikanuchi or
Cody Rhodes versus Ricochet.
Mikanochu or was it Mikan? what's the guy's? I'm
Mikanachi?
I'm botching the last name here. Mikanochu.
I feel better.
Mikanochu? No.
Yeah.
The guy that used to be the wrestler in WWE.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Taka Michinoku.
Yeah, Taka
There's
there you go.
Michinoku Wrestling.
Yes.
There's that too.
Yeah. Okay. The point, Cody, is you'll see where I'm going with this. Cody says people that's never heard of
easier
anything
access.
It's easy access, and a lot of people are getting turned on to it because of, like you said, the talent. It's who you like.
Well, here's my
like
thing
for
too.
example, what he was saying, they did a Ring of Honor show in Atlanta. Okay, Cody, Bullet Club's the heel,
but they love him. People love him.
But the people love him. Cody's a heel, but people love him. Okay, Cody could have cut down the Atlanta crowd, but the crowd basically hung on to everything they did for the show. Even in between matches, they did the Women of Honor matches. The crowd hung on to it. The crowd was so good. Okay, unlike what you say with the WWE crowd, you know what I mean? These indie shows is all this wrestling is so accessible. People are going to it because it's not what they usually see on a Monday Night Raw or a Tuesday Night SmackDown. Okay, NXT is, like I said, 80% wrestling, 20% story. But these promotions, he said, it's so accessible, and people are getting turned on to people they never heard of.
Well, here's your thing too, and this is what I want to bring back, is one of the reasons too why, people are going to these wrestling shows too, and why people are being pushed toward it. And this is, many reasons, but once again, it's so much cheaper for somebody to bring their family and their kids to these events than WWE.
Prices.
And here's the thing.
Yes,
here's the
I
thing.
agree with
okay. The majority of WWE's casual fans, like we've discussed in the past, are kids. Kids love John Cena, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
A lot of them are kids.
Right.
So you have a family of 4 or 5, okay, and you want to get good seats at a WWE Raw SmackDown. That's going to cost you thousands of dollars versus, and I looked at the price because Ring of Honor is coming to us here at the end of the year.
Yep.
The cheapest tickets I could get there, and it's going to be in a smaller venue, so you're going to get good seats no matter what. Cheapest tickets were $30 a piece, okay? So if I had a family of 4, okay, I'm only spending, $120 to take my family of 4 to a Ring of Honor event versus $120 would probably maybe get me one seat up in the nosebleed section triple W, wherever arena they're at. You know what I'm saying now? So, the more accessible,
I get it. Yeah.
Because they're indies, it's a lot more affordable for people to go to.
Right.
If WWE, and I heard NXT is pretty reasonable to go to too for their tickets.
They are because like their live events.
Yeah.
$20 for general admission, 15.
But here's the thing:
for ringside,
if
15
WWE instead of putting on these house shows in these arenas, like they do, and charge them, buku bucks,
for a live show,
do it. Like even if they have to do an arena, only go so far with the seats. And make it more affordable.
Well, they won't.
They want money.
They won't. Exactly.
I mean,
speaking of Cody, where's Hangman Page?
I don't know where Hangman Page is. I think the Stooge has got him.
Yeah, I do too. What do you think about that last episode of Being Elite?
I loved it.
In
case y'all haven't seen the poster too, they have a bunch of missing posters out for Hangman Adam Page. And in case you don't know, okay, he was last seen wearing a noose. In case you've seen him, okay, we need to let everyone know. Last seen wearing a noose, huge hog, blonde hair, big effing cock, okay? And have we mentioned he's got a big old dick? Okay, right here. It's right there. And did we mention he's got a big old dick? Okay? There he is, Hangman Page. Okay, if you've seen Hangman Page, please contact Bullet Club ASAP. And in case you missed this week's episode of Being the Elite, they even called Curry Man from Japan.
Yeah.
To see if they knew where he was.
Check it out, man. They got a shirt. Check it out.
There it is.
Yep, there it is right there.
They got a shirt.
Yeah, it is funny. It was funny to see Dave Meltzer on there, That was you mentioned that they were filming the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, the Battle of Los Angeles. They were right there for that.
Yep.
And then Kenny Omega, he was all drunk and he was all tore up about
That's
it.
non-alcoholic beer.
I know.
Marty Skrull is like, that's non-alcoholic beer. I'm straight edge.
I know. Oh my god, that's funny. Here's another shot of what McShaft was showing you right here.
There it is.
Oh my god, that right there is freaking. Oh, really? That's crazy. Oh man, we're gonna end up closing this talking a little bit about video games.
Oh yeah.
One thing I gotta say is that with, let me pull this off here. WWE. Have you heard about WWE 2K18?
A few things. It always pops up on all the advertisements on everything that I look at now. They're like promoting the heck out of this.
You heard about the MyCareer Path? Hey, I said it
heard
right,
that,
man, without screwing up.
I heard that they have some backstage things now you can do.
It's free roam. They're able free roam where you can walk
and
around.
I think they said that with the announcing, like when the backstage interview is talking to you, there's a little more like emotion and interaction between that too as well.
Yeah, there is. Now, apparently, for the MyCareer mode, it's been redesigned. You got 2 paths that you can go down. Okay, for the MyCareer, you can become a company man. Going down the company man's path means that you're all about helping the general managers get what they want out of the roster on any given show. This involves conspiring with GMs backstage, ambushing other WWE superstars in the locker room during their interviews, and basically doing whatever it takes to maintain that GM's power, both in the ring and backstage. The rewards are hefty though. Continue helping the GM succeed, and you'll gain access to awesome upgrades, such as the ability to orchestrate a run-in to help you win a match. You can also access Vince McMahon's office to lobby for match card changes and title rematches. If you don't want to become a company man, however, you become a fan favorite. Being a fan favorite means that you don't play by the company's game, and you're all about putting on the best matches and promos.
See, what do they call it, a heel or a face?
You have a locker room full of WWE superstars and legends backstage. This route involves earning their respect by taking on different match types, night in and night out. You also have WWE superstars test your in-ring aptitude and skills on the microphone. But if you succeed at this, you'll earn the whole locker room's respect, and with that comes some perks. WWE legends are always backstage during the events. If you earn their respect, you'll start to give you in-ring bonuses for your matches or promos. If you become a complete package, the guy who can walk the walk and talk the talk like Stone Cold Steve Austin or John Cena, you'll be able to have your own customization WWE Championship or Universal Championship. This honor is only given to the best of the best. What do you think about that?
I think it should be, you're going to be a fan favorite or a heel. Face or heel.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
Because when you say, company man, you think that,
Heel.
you're going to be... No, when I think company man, you're going to be, doing what you're supposed to do, going out there, winning matches, winning titles, doing the best you can, what the company wants.
Right.
But then, when it says fan favorite, you don't play by the whole company game. That tells me that you're more like a heel, where you're going to get, you don't care if you get DQ'd or you're going to cheat to win. That's not what wrestling's all about. So they kind of got that all kind of confusing a little bit. I think whoever wrote that really, didn't really know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I kind of like how you get bonuses for,
doing different things.
Yeah, doing each thing. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how career mode is, because career mode last year on WWE 2K17 was... I quit playing it. I started playing it, and I was ranked at, the bottom, and I never did move up. I think it took me forever. It seemed like after 1,000 matches and 1,000 wins... I finally moved up from rank 10 to 9.
The last one I did was...
I quit playing it.
What was the one I got? 16.
Yeah.
One was Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I felt about that one was, you would sit there and you'd be like, hey, I want a title match and be like, oh, well, you can't because, or I want to challenge this wrestler for a match to boost up my ranking.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't because you're in a feud already. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm not in a feud with anybody.
Yeah, I know. There were some bugs with that game. There was a lot of bugs, but hopefully they got them straightened out. Graphically, this game looks awesome. I'm really excited about it. And it comes out on October. I don't have the date here.
I'll probably wait a little bit, probably trade in some games and get that when it goes down in price a little bit.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I mean,
I know
most of the wrestling game, it's pretty much the same thing, you know, just a few tweaks here and there and stuff. So, I mean, I'm not like 100% like, oh my God, I got to get this when it comes out.
Well, I know one game you're not going to... One game that you do have that you've been playing is Destiny 2.
Yeah.
How's that been?
Yeah. So Destiny 2 has been it's been pretty cool.
That's
a couple
cool.
things have really just like exceeded my expectations about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And some things they kind of disappointed me, but when I start really stepping back and thinking about it, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So for instance, one of the things I love is, and this one you don't have to go to orbit to, go to your next mission.
Right.
On the pad, you literally hold it in and it pulls up a map of where you are on whatever planet you're on. And the one thing I really love is that it shows you where all the public events are going to be at.
Yes.
And you have a countdown to when it's going to start, which is pretty cool. And then if they're going on, how much time is left. And then instead of having like all these random like little side missions that they had in the last one, little quests, where you have like 50 different ones in random spots throughout the game, they've combined them into like whole side quests. So you may have like 1, 2, or 3 that pop up on the map, and these side quests are like 4 or 5 part missions that you have to do.
Yeah.
And you get like actual rewards for this. So it's not like in the first one where it's like, oh, kill 50 hive, and then it's like you do it and you get some experience or whatever. This one you go through like 4 or 5 different parts, and then at the end you get a nice like chest or reward that gives you like coins, armor, weapons, all kind of cool stuff. So you get more of a reward out of it, which I like.
That's cool. I heard they basically made it to where you win a lot of stuff, and you just gotta build for it. They said don't get too overwhelmed with this game. For the fact of the matter is that there's so much stuff. You complete one thing, and another thing pops up. They said don't get too overwhelmed with that because there's always something to do.
Now the one thing cool is that the hive, all your enemies are back in this one. The hive,
they got some new ones, don't they?
A few new ones.
Yeah, the Red Legion.
And they got the little dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
But they got some different hive, which is pretty cool.
Right.
And different fallen, so you got to watch out for that. They have like these new fallen that come out with like these like electrified bow staffs and stuff.
Damn.
And they have like scavenger fallen that like scatter on the ground and stuff like that. But what's neat is they have the hive. They've kind of redone their like armor and look and stuff, so it looks pretty cool. They're more of like a grayish kind of.
Well, I played the beta, and I was impressed how the Vex look on that one strike that you get to do.
Oh, I haven't seen the Vex yet.
Yeah, the Vex they kind of like they detailed more of their armor, and the Minotaurs.
Now the
are
one
not
thing,
a pain in the ass like in the first one to kill.
Now the one thing that at first disappointed me a little bit, but now it kind of grows on you. So if you think about it, all the Guardians got attacked. They're basically like starting over from scratch. And the armor so far in this isn't like it was in the first one where it was all, you have this bright, colorful, cool design armor. It looks like scavenger armor where like Mad Max, Borderlands kind of style.
Yeah.
So at first you're kind of like, oh, really? It's like, but now it makes, if you step back and really think about it, it makes sense.
It does.
And then like a lot of the weapons aren't as like super flashy and everything as the last ones were. Most of them look more like real weapons.
Right.
But I mean, you know, you got to kind of step back and just, you know, look at the theme of the game and stuff and kind of, you know, it's like you wouldn't play a World War II game and want modern weapons. You know what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I totally get it. Yeah.
It takes a little bit to transition to when you were playing Destiny 1 for so long. Mm-hmm. It takes a little bit. The other thing too is, you know, like I said, like with the armor, so far I'm playing the hunter character and I haven't been too impressed with the cloaks or the masks so far on them.
Right.
How they look. But I mean, you got to look at, you know, like the theme of the game and stuff. You're not going to have these big flashy, you know, cloaks and, you know, all that kind of other stuff. It's like, you know, you're kind of like starting from scratch and trying to survive and, you know, recuperate yourself from the attack.
Yeah.
So, you know,
it's sounds fun. I haven't been able to get it. I was going to get it last week, but you see on the screen there, of course, Irma had to come through and screw that all up. So I had to use what money I had, me and my family, to get them out of state. So, well, that's it, man, on this podcast.
That's it.
That is it. But before we close this podcast, again, I want to mention on the social media contacts you see there on the bottom of the screen, and audio listeners, you can follow me on Twitter at the Everett _Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, hit that notification to follow when we do go live on Facebook for live broadcast. Also, Everett Lee Show. .weebly.com, the official website of the Everett Lee Show. Stop by there and click up merchandise like these t-shirts here. Look for promo codes for ELS and Chris Carnage t-shirts on the website, everettleeshow.weebly.com. Click on the merch tab, and also you can listen to this podcast at the following right here. Libsyn.com, everettleeshow.libsyn.com. You can download the audio version of this podcast. Stitcher Radio, you can download that app for your smartphone and tablet. Head over to stitcher.com/podcast/ELS. And also, of course, those on iPhones. You have an iPhone, don't you, McShaft?
I do.
And you have iTunes, don't you?
I do. Well,
yes.
Everyone can technically have iTunes, but...
Yeah, but it's easier to access, right?
No, I mean, I have a Windows computer that I access iTunes on.
Well, you can listen to Everett Lee's show on iTunes. Stop by there, give us a 5-star rating. Make sure you do that, ladies and gentlemen.
Do it!
That's right.
Just do it!
Shiloh
what are you waiting for?
Commands you to do it.
Do it!
You can support Everett Lee's show.
Do it!
On patreon.com/ELS_DT. Just do it. Just do it. Well, that is it. You like Shiloh LaBeouf, don't you?
I mean, 50-50 on him.
Well, we can thank him.
Speaking of which, well, not Shia LaBeouf, but
before
I was going to watch the new Transformers movie, but I want to watch the new Spider-Man last night. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk about that next time on ELS.
Damn, Michael Keaton.
Where is he?
A Birdman.
Of course you got Jack Nicholson.
What are you laughing at?
My favorite joke. Because, you know,
here's Johnny.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
Everett Lee Show. ELS. Everett Lee signing off.
McShafting away.
That's right. Thank you so much.